Welcome to another episode of the Doll 512 Replica series. Last episode we made things that go back and forth, so today I figured we're going to make things that go round and round, namely the crankshaft. And to start off, let's make something that is not a crankshaft. We are going to instead make the bushings that the crankshaft rides in first. You see, I've already drilled the holes in the bearing blocks a few episodes earlier, of course. And in order to make sure that these are both in line, we can best, put two bearings in here and then have a shaft run through it and see how it does. Well, after a lot of tedious, tiring, tidying work, here's the crankshaft, and I can't be too displeased with that. So now we can either start thinking about making this engine actually run by making all the connectors to the valves and to the piston rods, or we can procrastinate and make stuff that goes onto the crankshaft, like for example this pulley here. Nah, who am I kidding? Of course we're going to make the connecting rods first. And even before that, screws! Beim letzten auch noch. I've got the rods in place and the thing is turning. Now obviously this isn't the fine English way of doing it. I'm going to have to take everything back apart again and then drill these out and put some brass bushings in between, because we can't have steel on steel, obviously. My standard sentence with pretty much everything, I think, is, well, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. This time I can't say that because I'm completely baffled and amazed at the result of this. Let's be honest, this was an experiment. I copied the insert idea from, of course, my Model A engine overhaul debacle. And, you know, I thought just, well, it's worth a try, right? And I didn't even try hard. You see, I could have probably taken a piece of tubing and just sawed it in half and filed it down a little bit. That's basically what I did here. And it's completely play-free and it just works. I mean, these bearing shells, they're clamped in here, they're not going anywhere. And when I go over to the steam engine and put it on the shaft, then this is just the definition of a perfect fit. There is no play, nothing. And yet it runs freely. This one is a tiny bit more tight. Hang on, this way around. You can see it even, you know, wants to slightly stick on the shaft. But still, play free and it runs smoothly. It just... the mind is boggling, mine at least. So now all that's left is drill out the front and I can put a solid bushing in that.
Hoping that you may hear me. Love, you are hills of blue. Darling, I spend this hour with you in smoke trees, here by a campfire, dreaming your clothes.
It already makes the right noises. So, let us move on with the Excentrics so we can finally get this puppy running. I've got neither 6mm fat pieces of brass, neither 33mm round. All I have is diameter 30. But I was figuring, since I just need the flat part, so most of it is going to be cut away anyways, why not try a little bit of blacksmithing, shall we say, and swedge this out so that it's going to become 33 in width. Just as I thought, wait a minute, this is really working, I can feel the brass getting soft, cracked it right through the middle. And I mean not just the beginning, but the whole thing is now some very expensive scrap. So, no more experiments. I'm gonna have to buy some 6mm flat brass. Now I've constructed this thing so that when the eccentric is in its center position, then the valve rod should be flush with the front. And then it should oscillate between 2 millimeters behind the block and 2 millimeters in front. But for now, if we put some compressed air on here, this should run. Haha! There you go! The first heartbeats of this machine. Yeah! Cool! It's still tight, as you can see, but I mean the concept is working, and it's got, oh, it's unstoppable. Coolsies! Alright, upward and onward. Whoopee! Well, I've spent a little more time making the eccentrics look a little prettier, and now, without wanting it, they became the prettiest part of the machine, I think. Anyways, now the front here looks a little empty and wiry, don't you think? Well, that's because the Crosshead Guides are still missing. They are fake, they don't do nothing except for beef up this front portion here. Well, I've made a couple more decorative pieces here. Pretty simple. I just filed a piece of straight bar into a wedge and then put some decorative facets onto it. These get held in place with solder and also with 2 tiny oiler cups, 1 each. I'm going to have to make 6 of these because, well, the cranks and the eccentrics get 1 too. And I really don't want to do these all by hand, so I want to try and do these with a profiling tool. Never done this before, so I don't know how this will work out, but maybe it's going to get us close to contour and we'll just have to do some finishing job, or ideally it's just drill 2 holes, plunge this in and part it off. Well, she's all dolled up now. Get it? Because it's a doll. And we're going to we're going to make the last piece of the video, which is going to be the crankshaft drive pulley. It's, you know, typical pulley, nothing special, very similar to the flywheel. However, rather than making it out of full once again and doing the same thing over and over, I want to try something different here, and that is make a ring for the outside, then use a slug for the inside, and then machine pillars, so to speak, to act as the spokes. Drill holes into the perimeter of this, and drill 6 holes into the slug in the middle, and then use the spokes to fit it all together, and then solder it in place and mimic the cast look of this, you know, once again making it out of several different pieces, and then soldering it all together.
Schwört man im Mai, Carissima mia, dir bleibe ich treu. In Santa Lucia, da schwört man im Mai, Carissima mia, dir bleibe ich treu. Bianca, schönes Mädchen aus der schönen Salamanca, meine Seele will zu dir, Bianca. Warum wohnst du gerade dort in Salamanca? Warum wohnst du nicht bei mir? Oh komm, denn ich sehne mich Tag und Nacht nach dir, nach dir. Oh komm zu mir.
Well, it's all soldered together, and I have to say I'm very impressed with the result here. I mean, runout wise, for this being my very first piece I made this way, I really cannot complain at all. I will now machine the protruding bits here off, drill the center hole and the grub screw hole, and, well, then we're finished with this piece.
Es wird in 100 Jahren wieder so ein Frühling sein, genauso schön, mein Schatz, wie heut.
Well, there we go. That pretty much finishes up the entire drive unit of the Doll 512, and that also concludes this video. Thank you very much for watching as always. I hope you enjoyed all of this kerfuffle here, and yeah, I'm going to leave you to it, and the next time that you'll see this thing, we'll probably start making the boiler, so we've got something to strap this down onto. Anyways, take care, see ya, bye-bye.
Und wird in 100 Jahren wieder so ein Frühling sein. Es kann nicht schöner sein.